Hi everyone, Ray from Pro String again with another racket restringing tutorial. Today's racket will be a badminton racket, as you may have noticed already. It's a Victor DriveX. Let me see if you guys can see it in this angle. Chance. No, it doesn't look like you guys can see it. It'll probably be upside down on your side, guys. It's a DriveX 9X. So a Victor, brand is Victor, the model is DriveX 9X. All right, make sure you've got some dancing room, some wiggling room there. Don't apply much pressure to the mounting system or the racket on the mounting system. The client has provided their own strings, which is the YONEX BG80 strings, and has requested 25 pounds of tension. So for this racket, 13 and a half, 13 and a quarter lengths of the full racket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and a tab. Cut yourself a nice sharp angle. We'll be doing a one-piece stringing job today. Start from the bottom on all badminton rackets, as none of the badminton rackets have holes in the neck of the racket because there is no neck. Badminton head, racket head goes straight into the shaft. And pull the string through, and now we're going to count. This is a stringing pattern, doesn't come on most badminton rackets. But I'm pretty sure it's 22 by 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Surely, because we have one already in, which makes 11 to each side, 22 mains. If I'm not mistaken, by 21 crosses. Leave yourself enough string to reach the tension head, which that should give me more than enough. The string color actually looks quite good on this racket, I have to say. 25 pounds of tension. As you may have noticed, I held my clamp upwards ever so slightly, so it's in line with the string, or in line with the racket. You don't want it to be down below the line of the string. You'll always, when you pull your first string, you'll always have a tiny little gap there. Don't apply much pressure. It's enough once it's just touching. Once you're 6 o'clock fixture is touching the racket, that should be more than enough. Excuse me. Client brought 2 of these, so making one video out of 2. I've already strung one of them. Client comes every couple months, I would say. Probably a keen badminton player, or at least likes to have good tension in his strings. Feel like it's gripping enough, but I just tighten my clamp a tiny bit, make sure there's no slip, which there wasn't probably going to be, but just to be safe. Felt a little bit loose for my liking. So as you guys can see, there shouldn't be much tension applied to your clamp. Of course, it will depend on what kind of clamps you have. Floating clamps are generally a lot harder to tighten or close, should I say. So guys, as you've just seen, I've pulled 3 to each side, now 4 to this side, stringing symmetrically, compensating the tension nicely throughout the racket. You don't want to damage the racket, especially badminton rackets. I mean, be more careful with badminton rackets. But I mean, if you're watching this video, you should take into account, regardless of the type of racket, tennis, squash, or badminton, you need to make sure you're always compensating the tension to each side. Don't risk it for a biscuit, guys. Just not worth it. Really not worth it. my 5th main to this side. And my 6th. And after this, I'm going to have my 7th, of course, but I'm going to use something that's called well, I call it a stringing aid. You see, it's just a small piece of polyester tennis string that I'll set in between the frame and the string. This way I can make sure I have a tiny little bit more space or gap to work with, but I think actually I don't need it for this racket, not yet at least. There's lots of space. Yeah, I'm gonna have plenty of space there, despite it covering the hole, but it sits slightly lower than the hole. So just to set an example, there you go. It's covering the last cross string. When I'm finishing up the racket, that'll be there. But it seems to be out of the way, which isn't always the case. So just keep an eye on that. Little piece of tennis string or a slightly thicker string. You can try badminton bent over twice, maybe. Might work well. Let's see this hole here. And this is my 9th, by the way. My 9th string to this side, so that means I'm going to swap sides in a moment. And again, it's not really covering the hole, so I've got lots of space to get the string fitted later on one of the last few crosses. The 3rd last cross to be exact. So 6 to one side. I know that I've got space on this main string that loops around and covers my the last cross like the other side. Obviously doing exactly the same thing I just did a second ago. Kind of repeating myself a little bit. That's all right. Double checking. Yeah. A lot more space on that side than this one, but anyway. I think I'll be okay anyway. But anyway, if I'm not, then I'll deal with it when I get there. But if you're not very experienced, add the stringing aids, guys. It's really helpful. At least I find. Up your tension, I've gone from 25 to 28.7, which is exactly 15% higher tension, which is 15 to 20 is the recommendable. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On my 8th main string, I'm tying my knot, which is going to be a Parnell knot, small single knot, then another knot, but coming through the first one. I promise you I will get to showing you a much up closer version of the knot when I get a little bit more time, but at the moment I'm just quite saturated for time. So yeah. So plenty of shared holes on this racket. Shared holes or grommets, shared grommets, which means you have a main string and a cross string going through the same hole or grommet. Grommets are the small little black things here that you guys can see, which protects the string from the frame in itself. There you go. Main's done. I'm gonna whip through the counting of them. Seems like a lot of people like to know where they're going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Skip 1, 11. The top is different on this racket. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Skip 1, 7. Skip 1, 8. Skip 1, 9. Skip 1, 10. Skip 1, 11. So a lot more skipping on the top as to the bottom. So I actually tied my knot, but I like to normally weave 3 strings through. So doing this one a little bit different to my kind of standard habit protocol, let's say. And that's sheerly because I've got lots of strings covering here, covering my cross strings, covering. Despite that, it's gone through really nice and easy, so it just shows you that it's not necessary to weave 3 strings through. It's just a habit of mine, slightly sidetracked, talking to you guys, but I guess in reality talking to myself, just with the camera on, which at first was a bit strange, but now it's becoming more natural, I have to say. Looks like we have another shared hole. Looks like, no, we do have another shared hole, and we're through easily enough. Right, our first cross, boom. So the first 2 are shared holes, then it goes on to a non-shared hole on a 3rd cross, and then the 4th is also back on a shared hole. Okay, so I've got some blockage here. That's exactly what, they're very easily through. That's why I like to get through, that's why I like to weave 3 strings through. Just makes life a little bit easier, but it's not the end of the world either. Let's see how easy or not it is to get the string through here. Always helps to have a sharp edge, guys, sharp end. Cut the string with an angle. The string is just, it's all good. Just putting the string back over the grommet. Right, perfect. Again, be careful with the awl, guys. You can avoid using the awl. I probably could have avoided it, but I'm confident with the awl, so I just popped the string back into where it needed to go, which was here. It was slightly below, it dropped below the grommets. So all good. And here we go. Another shared hole. The 4th cross string on this Victor DriveX 9X. Check my camera, looks good. Very happy with this very expensive piece of material, iPhone 5 Pro Max, Max Pro, whatever it's called. I don't even, it's one way around or the other, Pro Max or Max Pro. I think it's the Max Pro, but yeah. Dropped my phone last Friday, smashed the screen, but not only I smashed the screen, but also just stopped working altogether, unfortunately. Well, phone still seems to be turning on, but literally just a black screen with a bunch of lines on it. So I had to buy a phone urgently. And it turns out I bought the 15 Pro Max, and then my little brother, my younger brother, turns out tells me that the 14 is exactly the same as the 15. So I spent probably 300 or 400 more than I probably needed to. But you know what? It's done now. Got a good phone, very good quality for videos. Camera is great, so hopefully it pays off. And it lasts me a long time, more than anything. It's a terabyte. I remember back in the day when I used to buy the terabyte external hard drive, like that big, that thick. Came with its own stand. So imagine. As you can see, I'm always moving my hand, avoiding friction between the mains and the crosses, as I will do now. Bum, 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 bum. So not much talking going on for me right now. I'm just trying to get through these crosses without really rushing, just at my normal kind of pace. Stringing one ahead. If you're asking yourself, why am I always weaving an extra string? That's because it makes it easier. If not, the weave in itself is harder. So if you're just doing one string and then another, so if you're just doing one string, so imagine I just pulled this one now, it'll be harder to weave the string. Okay, it's not going to be 1,000 times harder, but it will be slightly harder. And it gets harder and harder regardless as you progress throughout your crosses, because the racket, the racket is gaining more tension one string at a time. And then support your cross string. Don't let it go up. Sometimes it'll want to go up. Try to keep it straight. Use a guesstimate. So try to guess it estimately with an estimate, sorry. There I went through. And there's our first shared hole at the top of the frame, which of course will also be on the other side a shared hole. Okay, that was a bit of a struggle to get that one through, but it went through without using the awl or anything, just very slowly. You could feel that it was going through, but very slowly. Ooh. I'm just pulling down the string that is covering, which is a main string covering the hole, slightly with my awl. Again, be careful guys, take your time if you are going to use the awl. Don't rush it, don't do anything too silly. I may have to use it here as well. The hole is 100% covered, so my edge is now done as well. Fluffs up. Badminton strings tend to fluff up at your end of string on your edge. There you go, much easier once the end, should I say end? Edge? End? The end of your string is nice and sharp. It will help you a lot. Alright, 4 or 5 more to go, guys. Time to time, the tension head, because the badminton strings are so thin, can slip. Can slip with any type of string really, but if it's going to slip, it's likely with a badminton racket string. Badminton string. Up, under. Always the opposite to your last weave, guys. Shouldn't be any double overs or double unders. This is the side that I had a bit less space on throughout. Okay, it went through no problem. So it's covered by a main string, vertical string. Mains are your verticals and your crosses are your horizontals. This one's also in a bit of a, this is where I like to use the little string aids that I showed you guys, which is actually just tennis string. But let's see. I think I might have to get the awl involved here if I want to do this kind of quicker. It does help using the awl, of course it does help, but like I say, be careful. I popped my fair share of strings using the awl, mainly on badminton. I've learnt my lesson. Lessons, plural, definitely plural. But no, now I've been doing badminton for 6-7 years, and I actually have become somewhat popular in the badminton world, at least in London. I have people willing to travel 2 hours each way sometimes. Guys that have tried my stringing before and they can't find a good stringer outside of London. Probably less choices as well. Not that like in London where you can just, if you're not happy with something, you just go somewhere else. Normally you'll find your fix somewhere. So I only do the badmintons. I don't let anybody else do badmintons. Well, there's one guy, actually, he's a good badminton stringer that has helped us out. Last, what was it? Last summer. That was his main type of racket to string, was badminton, which was nice. So have somebody help with the badmintons, but like I say, I'm very careful with who goes anywhere near the badminton rackets, which has only been one other person, as I was just talking about. There you have it. My Parnell knot. By the way, I did up the tension, guys, to from 25 to 28.7, 15% extra of tension to be exact. There you have it, guys. Racket is done. Straighten up my strings a little bit. It sounded great. Music to my ears, as I always say, especially with the badminton. It's got a special ping to it. It's got a nice little high noise, pitch, whatever. Have some people that come up, excuse me, some people come up and they go like, I don't know how they can tell. I guess they've accustomed their ear to the little flicking, which is a bit odd to me, but anyway. Cool. Right, guys, there you have it. Once again, the Victor DriveX 9X. Strings are nicely straightened. All good in the hood. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully there was some valuable stuff there for you. Any comments, please, or feedback, any type of, whether it be positive, negative, please don't be too harsh on me. Don't be mean, of course. I'm happy to take it all in and learn from anybody that I can do as well. And hopefully you guys have been able to learn something today as well. Take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Happy stringing. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay. Doesn't want to turn off.